I've been working here for about 1.5 years now. I do panel beating here and fixing the cars. Well, this white ute here, I'm putting the front bumper bar back on, just fitting that, removing the old one and fitting the new one. It's been really quite busy recently in the workshop here.
The Deaf Society as a whole is the largest specialty services for deaf and hard of hearing people in New South Wales. So we provide a range of services. I work in the employment department, where we find and assist the deaf and hard of hearing employment and help them to stay in employment and support them in employment. Oftentimes it's just misconceptions of the employer or people in general. They just think deaf person can't communicate, walls go up. But often I just say a simple thing like, we as hearing people are not used to communicating with a deaf person, but the deaf person is used to communicating with hearing people. Sometimes just bringing that to light, the employer or workmate sometimes think, oh yeah, that's true, and they realise that they're the ones with the issue, not the deaf person's the problem with the issue. You can't put a square plug in a round hole. We've got to make sure as employment officers that they know the client really well and they get to know what their skills are and what their abilities are, and then finding that within the workplace and finding that in the role to really match it. We find that that's the most important thing for that job to stay successful and for the client to remain in that role, is having that match right at the start.
We only had a wage subsidy in the beginning, I think for about 3 months from the society. They gave us signs to put up at work, offered training, and basically anything we wanted to make them comfortable. They even gave us a paging system, so if we needed to contact him and then they offered any other training for staff, for us, and they offered someone to come to work and then have a talk to all the workers about it.
Working with my co-workers, I've got a poster up there with some signs on it, and some of them looked at that and learned some signs so that we can communicate simply.
The Employment Assistance Fund, it covers Auslan interpreting, so if they did need to have, like even for staff meetings, they can bring in an Auslan interpreter, which would be paid for through the Employment Assistance Fund, and the deaf worker can participate fully in any of the staff meetings or training. The employers can contact me and say, for example, oh, we've got a staff meeting coming up on such and such a date, can you please organise an interpreter to be there? Then I'll go and apply for the funding for that and book the interpreter and make sure that all that happens. Which is nothing for the employer, they just have to ring me up and let me know that there's going to be a meeting, they need an interpreter. Everything else I can look after all of that. The interpreter just turns up. As time goes by, our support becomes less. We really want him to become an independent worker. We just call in, check in, make sure that everything's okay once in a while, and make sure that Sam and Walter knows that they can contact us if there's any issues or something comes up or something changes in the workplace that they might think, oh, they need some other kind of modification, might assist, then we can generally do that. I think they see that Walter is a great worker. They see that he does the work that he does. His deafness doesn't get in the way. They haven't put that against him. They see that they're looking at his ability rather than his disability. They see that he does the job and he does it well, so yeah.